And the other operation we're going to look at today is how to add and subtract these matrices. Okay, so the big note when we're talking about adding and subtracting matrices is they have to be the same exact dimension, right? So last video we talked about, the notation and how to communicate, what a matrix is, if it's a 2 by 2 or a 1 by 4. Okay, so when you're adding and subtracting, it has to have that same exact dimension, or when we add and subtract, we say that it doesn't exist. Okay, so as we can see here, I've got 4 different matrices listed out here. I've got matrix A, B, C, and D. Just kind of a quick rundown again. Letter A, this is a 2 by 2 matrix. Letter B is a 2 by 2 matrix. Letter C here is a 4, right? Remember, it's row by column, so 4 rows by 1 column. And D is going to be the same thing, right? We've got 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, by the 1 column. Okay, so let's get into the addition and subtraction operation here, okay? So let's just look at it. Let's just do an example here. You may see something like this. Example 1, I want A plus B. And so we've got matrix A, we've got matrix B. This is a 2 by 2, this is a 2 by 2, right? So it has the same exact dimension, so we're able to add. And literally all this is going to mean is the corresponding parts, you're going to add them together, okay? So if I put together my kind of 2 by 2 matrix here, right, we've got 2 rows by 2 columns. We take A, and we're going to add it to B. So if I let A be the red numbers here, so I have 7, -4, 0, -2. I'm going to put matrix B in purple. So whatever these numbers were for A, I'm going to literally add those same corresponding numbers for matrix B there. So this spot is +10. This spot we're going to add 4. This spot we're going to add the -2. And this spot we're going to add the -3. Okay, so the red numbers, I've got matrix A. The purple numbers are represented by matrix B. So what we're going to do is literally add those numbers together, and that's going to be my new matrix. So A plus B, first row, first column, 7 plus 10 is 17. First row, second column, -4 plus 4 is a 0. Second row, first column is 0 plus -2, which is a -2. And down here, we've got -2 plus -2, which is a -4. Notice, again, how when we add our matrices, we added a 2 by 2 by a 2 by 2. It turned into our 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so another example here. What would, I don't know, A plus D be? Well, remember, matrix A was a 2 by 2, so I've got my, my matrix A, 7, -4, 0, -2. And I'm adding D, which is -1, 2, 10, -7. Well, notice how they don't have corresponding numbers, right? First row, first column is 7. Well, we've got that -1, so we could add those. But this has a first row, second column, right? There's nothing over here, right? So this is undefined. This does not exist, right? You can only add and subtract our numbers when they have a corresponding value to kind of add and subtract with, right? In this particular case, the 2 by 2 does not go with the 4 by 1. Okay, so I think this is pretty simple to get the hang of. I'm going to do one more example with you to show you some subtraction here. So the last example, and really pay attention to which, addition doesn't matter. 3 plus 10 is the same thing as, 10 plus 3. So, but when you get into subtraction, when we're dealing with those negative values, you really need to pay attention to what order the letters are arranged, okay? So when I'm talking about, C, D, let's do D minus C. Okay, so when I do D minus C, matrix D has to go first, right? So matrix D, I'm going to represent with our blue numbers. All right, let's go red. Okay, I'm going to represent with my red numbers. So D is -1, 2, 10, -7. Okay, so I'm going to subtract that, right? Here's my matrix, right? We have our 4 by 1. I'm going to subtract that by letter C. So letter C I'm going to represent with the purple numbers. So remember it was 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, -4. So you really need to pay attention to what order it's in, especially when we're dealing with subtraction, when we're dealing with our negative values, order does matter here. Okay, so again, literally you're just subtracting kind of corresponding numbers here. So let's go ahead and subtract. -1, -1. That first row, first column is a -2. Second row, first column, 2 minus 2 goes to a 0. Third row, we have 10 minus 3, which is a 7. In the fourth row, we have -7 minus 4 is -11. So again, remember, we subtracted a 4 by 1 with a 4 by 1, and it turned into a 4 by 1 matrix as well. Okay, so it's not going to change the shape. Again, I don't think this is too difficult to see. It's just something, unless you see it, you probably don't understand what it is. Okay, so here are a couple basic examples I showed you, with the scalar multiplier and addition and subtraction. Miss Willard has a video up of, what happens if you see, more than one operation going on. So she's showing you some examples of, what would 2a plus 3b be. Okay, so I just showed you addition and subtraction. She's going to show you what happens if we have multiplication and addition and subtraction. And, the biggest thing that I'm going to tell you with that is, something you've learned since 6th grade, follow your order of operations. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. So follow your order of operations, right? Order of operations tells you to do multiplication before you do addition. So go ahead and multiply this 2, that scalar of 2 to the A, scalar of 3 to the B, and then you're going to add your matrices together there. Okay, so if you follow your order of operations, again, instead of doing multiplication and division, or multiplication and addition, subtraction, you're going to be doing them in one problem. But again, remember, addition and subtraction only takes place when the dimensions are the same there. Okay, hope this helps.